hello, and a very warm welcome to Brand Equity with me, Sonali Krishna. Advertising, marketing, strategy, brand building, news, reviews, and all the ATMA lowdown you could ever ask for. Let's get the show on the road, and here's what's going to keep you glued for the next half hour. On the show, Formula One is all set to make its India debut, and along with drivers, advertisers too are gearing up to make it to the checkered flag. Yet another faceless phone hits the Indian market, this time by telecom services major Vodafone, Wise or Foolhardy. And last but not the least, we bring you a countdown of the top 10 mistakes brands make on Twitter. India's maiden Formula One Grand Prix is still about 2 months away, and while race enthusiasts are busy blocking their seats for the grand spectacle, advertisers too are lining up to be a part of the speed, the thrill, and the adrenaline rush. And hence, Formula One isn't called a marketing circus for nothing. And with the heady lineup, the marketing buzz is beginning to turn ear-splitting. Tara Kapoor tracks all the action in and around the circuit. It's an explosion of noise, fumes, color, and drama. This glamorous troupe is making its Indian debut this October and is all set to entertain the thousands that flock to see their racing heroes take rounds in glistening power machines. And this roaring sporting extravaganza is certainly creating waves in the advertising circuit.
F1 is a phenomenon which goes across the globe.
The whole buzz around Formula One and motorsport has jumped a whole notch up. F1 is a high-cost, high-ticket item.
There is a substantial audience, which is around 25 or 30 million people who come and watch Formula One for the whole year.
And all the hoopla around this motorsporting spectacle comes at a mammoth cost. The core area of the circuit spreads over 4,000 hectares, and building the infrastructure of the circuit has cost JP Sports, the developers of the circuit, an estimated $400 million.
The entire investment has been by a private company, which is the JP Group. To this, I must add that in most of the countries where the Formula One event does take place, it's hosted by the government. The government plays a major part of putting up the infrastructure, of paying the rights fees and things like that.
The cost of actually running a Formula One team can vary from $100 to $400 million. For instance, a team like Red Bull or Ferrari would cost around $400 million, while Force India would be in the range of $80 to $100 million. And these numbers are just the basics. So how does the Indian Grand Prix plan to get its money back?
Revenue generation, I would reckon that in terms of ticket sales, you're going to have a full house of 120,000 seats. The promoters will sell out about between 70 to 100 crores worth of tickets. Tourism-wise, you are expecting more than 25,000 foreigners to come in over the weekend. All the hotels around Noida, Greater Noida, have been fully booked.
A large chunk of revenues will come in from sponsors and advertising deals. Here's a sneak peek of what's on the F1 menu. The title sponsorship of Formula One cost telecom major Bharti Airtel a whopping $8.5 million.
When you sign up deals like F1, they don't come very cheap. But given the value that Airtel has paid for it, and the programs that we believe we'll run around it, given the leadership brand that we are, we think it will be value for money if we are able to execute it well.
The sponsorship deal for an F1 driver can vary from anything from $100,000 to the $1 million mark. While depending on the placing of the car, the cost can escalate from $100,000 to a whopping $5 million. On-ground sponsorship is costing companies like Mercedes-Benz and Mahindra between $2 to $3 million, depending on their placement on the circuit.
The various ways it functions is you can either have a logo on the car, you can have branding on the drivers, across the chest, on the helmet, there's a valuation package for each location that you want.
Moving to broadcast sponsorship, brands like Samsung, Sony, Vodafone and Petronas Group, the associate sponsors, doled out about $300,000 US, and 10-second spots are estimated to go at rates of about $700 to $800, one-fifth the price of any large-scale cricket properties.
We've got 8 or 9 Indian partners right now on the Formula One. The buzz is huge. There are lots of clients who are coming back to us and saying that they would like to partner on the Formula One. But as things stand today, we are sold out on Formula One.
As a television advertising property, F1 is not that hard because viewership figures in India are not that big. As a sponsorship property, it's very big. As an activation property, it's very big. But in terms of advertising, it's never going to get even on like a 1.5 rating.
Team sponsors such as Vodafone, Red Bull, Mercedes-Benz and the UB Group are looking to leverage their global association with F1 with local campaigns, contests and reality shows.
We have a huge enterprise campaign to get an SME, you saw that, which we've announced with a channel where an SME can get his name onto the car, which is a very big thing, right? So that is one big activity. We also have people who are going to be a part of the the McLaren Vodafone team. So my view is when you look at all this, it's a good property to invest. Obviously, the economics you need to evaluate.
And while F1 is the perfect buy for global brands, just partnering with an elitist property like this one makes sense for Indian brands such as Airtel and Hero Motors.
I think that if you're going to invest in F1, you need to look at the Indian Grand Prix as an activation platform. But otherwise, if you're looking at investing in F1 as a platform, it's not about this one race, it's about the sport as a whole, and you need to look at global investments rather than just this one-off race.
It is not India-led versus the global. If you have global ambitions, look at F1 as a whole, because it's a 550 million audience globally versus the few millions that you can get in India.
And the Indian brands that have tied up with F1 have exactly that, global aspirations. Take Bharti Airtel as case in point, who's come on board as title sponsor. The Indian telecom major plans to use the platform to leverage the brand in global markets, where Formula One is also beginning to gain prominence. And they also want to gain more traction with the youth, the property's biggest target group.
Our entire brand identity enhancement and revision, and also our vision for 2015 clearly focuses on the youth, which comprises 50% of the population of this country. And therefore, I think it suits very well, and we don't believe that it is a niche sport anymore.
While Hero Motors, on the other hand, is looking at long-term associations with Narayan Karthikeyan that goes beyond Formula One.
The products that we make, when we go to sell our products to BMW, Bombardier and GMs and Suzuki, we talk of engineering strengths, engineering capabilities. And for me, if we are associated with this car, with this driver, we talk of that excellence. So to me, it's like a platform. It is taking us from one level to the next. As of now, we are planning out something for the race and then something longer term beyond.
The Formula One management too is leaving no stone unturned to market this high-profile property in India. From big concerts to the wildest parties to exhaustive road shows, the lineup is pretty impressive.
I know for a fact that 4 or 5 Formula One teams have planned road shows. You're going to have Formula One cars running on the streets of Bombay, running on the streets of Delhi. So I think the whole buzz, the way the glamour quotient also is being added by having concerts, you're getting, Metallica coming down with F1 Rocks. You've got the lap parties going on at the Circuit Hotel. We've got all kinds of things going on. It's a complete, let's say, it's moved the whole goalpost up in terms of so-called event promotion.
The excitement around Formula One is gaining momentum not only with advertisers but with Indian audiences as well. So much so that ticketing partner BookMyShow.com is burning the midnight oil to ensure maximum sales.
We've got travel packages like I mentioned. BookMyShow traditionally never sells travel packages. We are not a travel company. but we're doing it purely because we think there's a customer need and we've got to fulfill that void. Selling bus tickets and parking vouchers, where the customer can go online and is eligible, if he's buying 3 tickets in one transaction, will be eligible for a parking ticket.
Ticket sales for the Grand Prix open on the 20th of August, and close to 60% of the 120,000 seats have already been booked. And what's interesting is the overwhelming response from India. Close to 90% of the seats have been booked by Indians, a promising outlook for Indian advertisers. Clearly a lot of action still to come. Keep watching the space to be up to speed with the upcoming Grand Prix. Time to get commercial, but stay with us. Up ahead, there's yet another faceless phone in the market, this time by telecom major Vodafone. What's the point? We answer that question in just a moment.